Welcome. Hello. It's kind of cold here today, but you know I'm a man, so I'll just sling my thermals on and get on with my day. I was just reading a sad and disturbing story in the news today. An estranged husband fatally shot his wife and then took the police on a short chase and then shot himself in the head and died too. The wife was in a minivan and 3 children were in there along with her mother. But I think that the 3 children weren't hurt. I think the mother may have been hit, but it will survive. And this is a tragedy, especially for the children. And the story goes, the usual story. The male was domineering. He was abusive, physically abusive. He had a restraining order against him. Now, this man may have been domineering and abusive, but every time in these situations, the man is always portrayed as the bad man and the female is good, even if she's the one who's caused the situation. Now, I'm not condoning this man's action in any way, but I've talked to many men in the situation this man was in, and they are desperate. There's nowhere for them to turn. They're trapped. They don't see any future in their lives anymore. Like I say, this may not be the case in this story, but a lot of men are kicked out of their own house, the one they probably built, by their wife who's found somebody else but says she hasn't. He's not allowed to see his children, or at least if he does see them and there's drama, he has to pay the wife money. So he has no real home anymore, and he can't see his children that he's actually paying the money for, as if the money actually goes to the children, and a lot of times it doesn't really. While the female's life hasn't changed at all, she still has the children and she's seeing somebody else on the side too. This man was trying to put a tracker on her car. Why was he putting a tracker on her car? Because he just wants to know where she is at all times? Or that he thought something was going on, and that's why he wanted to know where the vehicle was at all times? That was more likely, isn't it? But I can feel for men because they have nowhere to turn. They're in a desperate place. They're not thinking clearly. Anybody who commits an act, who knows that they're probably going to die or they're going to kill themselves, must be in a desperate place. I've talked to a lot of men and married men who are in situations similar to this one, and their marriage was great, but their wife found somebody new, and she wanted him out, and she'll use anything to get him out. And they usually always use, oh, he was abusive, he's domineering, I'm afraid of him, where in many cases it isn't the truth. They're just using that as a lever or a way to get him out, and to keep him out. She doesn't need him anymore. She has Bobby down the grocery store, or Tom next door, or Tony at the gym. But things won't change because men are all perceived to be bad men. We never really hear the real story about the man's side of how things really happened. I don't know whether you people out there know it, but women have been known to bend the truth a little bit and blatantly lie in these situations. Like I say, I don't know the real truth in this situation, but I have seen many similar to this. But the fact is that 2 people have lost their lives, and they didn't have to lose their lives. And now these 3 children have no real parents. This situation got to where it was because the male had nowhere to turn. Even the courts were against him, told him he was a bad man. And they use this domestic violence charge all the time on men for any reason they want. And I'm sorry if I put a little chink in your guy's armor out there today about this, but we're men, so we just carry on, don't we? Because that's what real men do. See you later. I'll be back.